Hey, how's it going, mates? It's me, John Smarsky, and today we're talking about the 12 minimalism do's and don'ts. This is an excerpt from my book, Serious Minimalism 7 Principles That Free You from Clutter. Many books have a do's and don'ts list. While some are not as useful, I think it's safe to say that this list may be more valuable, resourceful, and uplifting as a technique for keeping your minimalism secure. Now, there's a lot that goes behind keeping your minimalism secure. And in my book, Serious Minimalism, I have 7 principles that lock down your minimalism. Because if you start earning more money, you're going to be tempted to buy more stuff. And really, you don't want clutter. You do not want clutter. And these do's and don'ts, once you start earning more money, once you accelerate in life and work and career and relationships, and you think that accumulating things is progress, which is erroneous, that's a fallacy. Accumulating things is not progress. That's not an evolution. So these do's and don'ts prevent you from accumulating things that would otherwise infect your life with clutter. So first doing the 6 do's, and then we've got 6 do nots. First one, do take time to enjoy minimalism, to appreciate nature, and to savor the space and exoneration from clutter. That's right, minimalism exonerates you from clutter. If you exonerate somebody in a legal sense, it means you free them from a prison. Minimalism is the exoneration from clutter. Clutter is the prison, okay? 2, do get obsessed. In 2011, I moved into an old cottage. It was an 1,800 square foot place, and it was just me and heaps of furniture. Over the next half a dozen months or so, I meticulously, assiduously, and obsessively relocated every single piece of furniture out of the house and into the garage, where most of it was taken away. I eradicated every bed, every plate, every desk, every chair, everything. I even had little shelves that I installed on the wall to put my laptop on, so I was standing using a laptop. I got everything out of the house. It was just an empty house. And the only thing I really cared about was voice work and writing and sharing and making videos and doing recordings. And so that was all I needed. And my bed was just a hammock or a little thermarest. And here in my home office here at home, I've got a futon. It's a nice upgrade from a thermarest. Woo! And yeah, I like it. Anyways, all I had were the few minimalist Apex productivity items that I needed. Now, an Apex productivity item is one of my principles in the book. It's identify Apex productivity items, and then your job is to acquire them. But don't settle for non-Apex productivity items. These things can be anything, okay? A kitchen utensil, a spork. My spork is the only eating utensil I own. It functions as a spoon for soup, a fork for salads, and anything you need a fork for. Stirring things. It's great. I only have one frickin' spork, and I like that. I love that. It's an Apex productivity item. Now, this laptop that I have, given to me by a very good friend, soon-to-be brother-in-law, is an Apex productivity item. It's obviously a very different Apex productivity item from a frickin' spork, but it still is an Apex productivity item. So all I had were the few minimalist Apex productivity items that I needed. This turned out to be a very rewarding experience. If you really want to experience minimalism, go for it. Get obsessed. Feel the elegance, control, and joy of minimalism. 3 of the do's. This one's a little bit interesting. You might like it. Do browse the internet with image loading deactivated. Graphics are at times powerful distractors to the information you want on the internet. That's just an interesting little trick. Just try turning off images when you browse the internet. If you're just looking for data or words or writing or the content of articles, the letters and numbers will still be there, but they won't have these distracting images. It's just a neat little trick to experiment with when surfing the internet. Do remember to constantly remind yourself that you are privileged and have worked very hard to have exonerated yourself from clutter and to have the minimalism you want and deserve. That's very true, mates. Minimalism is a privilege, and you have to work at it. In my book, I list the differences between homelessness and minimalism, because there often is a misconception there. Minimalism is uplifting and nourishing and liberating. Homelessness is strangulating and entangling. A homeless person has a bunch of junk that doesn't work. A minimalist has very few things, but they're all apex productivity items. Minimalism is like a breath of fresh air. Homelessness is like strangulation. So, they're very different. They're opposites of each other. Minimalism is exquisite. And once you acquire minimalism, savor it. 5. Do assume that people will threaten, scoff, and or criticize your hard-earned minimalism. This one's a little bit iffy. Because you don't want to be like... You do have to protect your minimalism. But you don't need to be angry at people. You can just laugh at them if they laugh at your minimalism. Just laugh at them. They're suffering with clutter. Anyway, 6. The last of the do's is do always understand that minimalism is not about depravity and not having things you need or want. Instead, it's just the opposite. It's about finding meaning in the truly lovely, clean, simple things in life. Woo! That's awesome! Okay, now moving on to the do nots. Do not revolt against enough. Enough is enough. Accept that when you have enough, you can move to other tasks. Ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus writes, "Nothing is enough for the man to whom enough is too little. Accept when you have enough and find peace in that enoughness. Cherish it and find happiness in achieving your daily quests." It's just accomplishing things. It could be a honey-do list. It could be, for a while I was obsessed with video games. I was thinking about making a quest app. So when I go out and do quests during the day, I could check those quests off. And now I just use Google Tasks, which is a great little quest app. But that's progress. Accomplishing things that you want to do is progress. And that's the first initial monumental step towards success. Huge successes, huge goals are first achieved with little tasks that you accomplish. And then you can start achieving bigger things. So for example, I want to earn more money. A step to that, a little thing, is renewing my driver's license. Simple as that. And that has its own little steps too, and you can just evolve. So do not allow non-minimalists to criticize your work, area, lab, office, or home. Just disregard them. Okay? 3, do not watch television. Just don't. If you do, you must always be able to skip over commercials. Companies spend millions and millions of expenses, dollars, pounds, euros, what have you, of psychological research to ensure the money spent on a commercial time slot is as manipulative and persuasive as possible. By not even witnessing commercials, you preemptively exonerated yourself from an enormous amount of clutter. Do not keep paper labels on disposable products you purchase. This is the 4th, do not. It's an interesting one, and I encourage you to try it. Cut off the label and use a Ziploc bag for items. Whenever I buy a 2-liter thing of the soft drink, which you shouldn't have too much, I think it's unhealthy, but I always remove the label. If something can remove the label, you can remove the label from it, do so. Not removing the label is like making the location of the disposable products, often kitchen or bathroom, like an on-display toxic advertisement burrowed into your habitat and or work environment. Don't settle for that. Eliminate the label. Stop being an involuntary consumer and advertiser, because in your home office or your kitchen or your house or wherever, if you keep the label on, you're still advertising that product with it. Now, you don't have to take the label off everything, but just experiment with it and you find it liberating. And experience the simplicity of getting what you purchased minus the label. 5. The do nots for minimalism. Do not assume that your minimalism will be easy to achieve. There are millions of hoarders and even more advertisers that demand you need more stuff. Keep it simple. Remember to savor your minimalism. And number 6, do not engage conspicuous consumerism. Some people collect things to show off to others, to boast of their success, when really conspicuous consumerism just leaves you with empty dreams and a pile of hoarded clutter to which you must tend. This has been an excerpt from my book, Serious Minimalism, 7 Principles That Free You from Clutter, which should be published June of 2018. If you like this, feel free to comment or subscribe. Thank you for watching.